Hey, I just realized I was taking tomorrow off and then probably like the holidays coming up, and I was like, I should at least send you a video, which is kind of a tour of what to expect, kind of an orientation with what the library, how the online library works, and what you can have access to. And this might, at least you can work on this over the weekend, because I'll be out of town. I just went outside on a walk and like my face is all red, my hair is crazy. It is hot out there. Okay, so way back in the day, we used to have, I don't know if I have a print book. We used to have print books, and people thought in academic libraries that that was the big deal. But the reality is it's scholarly articles. So a scholarly article, let me show you an example of one. Let's just go to Google Scholar. Here's first lesson. Some of these are out on the open web. So let's see, incarceration and, let's just say drugs. This is not a really good search. Thanks AI, I want to find something from, it's a scholarly article. Where's my article? I don't want anything from Nora's blog. Oh, here we go. Okay, so even back in the day, scholarly articles were, so you could see this one's only 7 pages long. The scholarly article would be something where somebody would set up an experiment where they very, very closely described an issue, an environment, a population that they were working with, and they had to describe the instrument, so how they were gathering data. Were they doing like interviews, or were they doing a survey, or were they just looking at data like people getting in trouble for possessing something, or court cases? And it's very, very tightly described, and the outcomes are very, very, hopefully, terse and short. So for example, if you go to an abstract, they'll typically give you like, well, what's going on? People who continue to use drugs inside prison can be differentiated from those who discontinue. So routine screening would allow for identifying unmet needs. That's pretty simple, isn't it? So this isn't like a book that describes all these things. It's just a single point from this research paper. And then other people can cite this and build their own research papers, and on and on and on. So there's millions of these published every year. That is a key moment. So from the library, if you remember using catalogs or indexes or things like that, so like little index cards, or you'd look in a book under a subject like incarceration and drug use and things like that. Did you ever use stuff like that? I did a couple times, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then it was sunsetted, and then we had like databases. What you can do instead is access the library via keywords. We have many of the things that you won't find out on the open web, or if you use Google Scholar, or just like the open web searching for scholarly things, there's full text of things, but you won't get access to it unless you go through the library. And I'll show you how to do that too. So lesson number 1, imagine this is like a Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime sort of a thing. You have to log in. So if you're not on campus, if you log in to cis.utah.edu or canvas.utah.edu, or right here where it makes you do that duo authentication thing with your phone, then you'll be logged in and you'll get a lot more full text. Big 4 things in the library to know. You can search for a lot of things here, which I'll show you. There's a lot of things called databases, which are individual collections by topic. So there's like a bunch of business articles in a database. There's a bunch of sociology, social work, psychology. They all have their own databases. And here's some guides, which I'll show you, an interlibrary loan where you can borrow anything for free. If you don't remember any of these things, just reach out to me, and I'll help you track this down. It's not something you can learn in one go. Okay, lesson number 1, let's dig in the catalog. Go to libutah.edu. You can pause the video and open up another tab if you want, but go to Advanced Catalog Search after you've logged in here or logged into Canvas or CIS and then gone back to the library homepage. Go to Advanced Catalog Search. Now imagine everything that's been published in the last 35 to 150 years, and then going on back into like 3000 BC, believe it or not, they've all been described. So I like the title of this would be a phone, but it would also have like smartphone. It would also have telecommunications device. That's like metadata where it's describing something. You can access that by just typing in something. So I'm going to type in, oh, what's the name? I'll do prisoner. Prisoner? So whatever you type in, it's not using any smart search. It's only looking for these characters, P-R-I-S-O-N-E-R. So if you speak other languages, you can type that in here. We have many things in non-English languages. So when I search, it's going to return only 700,000 things that has the word prisoner in the title, or it might be inside the description. So if you go into, oh, here's 91,000 articles. The health of prisoners. So if we click on this, you can see the highlighted terms of where it found it. So it was in a description, it's in the title, it's in these subject terms. So all you have to know is like what something is called. So let's go back. I apologize if I'm going too fast, but you can go back and watch the video back and forth. That's the beauty of this YouTube, hopefully. So let's type in, oh, let's misspell prisoner. Prisoner. Did you mean prisoner? So we went from 77,000 to 269. What's the problem with that? So spelling counts. It's going to say, did you mean to say do this? But it's not going to search for that. So if it's incarcerated, if it's penitentiary, if it's any of those words, and you only put in prisoner, you're only going to get prisoner. So let's add another element, prisoner, or, and now we can do synonyms or related terms. So the ones that you put were jail or jails or prisons. Oh, you didn't want the, like the person. You didn't want the population, you wanted the institution. So if you don't know what you want to put in or what the term is, because the authors might have described it in a variety of ways. Oh, let's do prison or prisons. So do you see it's looking for that iteration or that iteration? What's another one? I guess penitentiary. Did I spell that right? I can never tell. Now when I search for this, instead of looking for one word, it's going to go through all of the millions of things in our library catalog database, and it's going to pull everything that has this word or this word or this word or this word. So it should be bigger than, well, we just did prisoner before. Let's see how many we get. 1.8 million. That's a lot. And again, you can narrow down to books, articles. My favorite is peer-reviewed journals, because that's the articles that we're looking for. But I'm not going to do that. Not quite yet. So if we have 1.8 million, how do we narrow it down? We go to the second line where it says and. So we want to find everything with this word in it. And then we want it to go back and find everything that also has the word, I guess. So you put substance use disorder. If it's more than one word, you have to put it in quotes, so those words stick together. That works on Google too. Disorder. So what this will do is it finds everything with jail or jails or prison or prison. Penitentiary and the word substance use disorder, or the phrase. So it's narrowing it down. Whoa, there's only 1,300. Well, what if they call it something else? Or marijuana, or fentanyl, or opioid. What are the synonyms? Did I misspell that? Opioid. Or, I don't know if they, heroin seems to be, oh Lord. Heroin seems to be like kind of an older style drug. Fentanyl seems to have displaced it, just because of it's so much more portable. But you could put the names of drugs, or I don't know. Let's do a search. So now, instead of just 1,300, whoa, then we're back up to 39,000. So there's substance use disorder, but there's also substance use. So you could go back up to this keyword, substance use. Doesn't matter if it's capital or not in this database. 42,000. And let's go back to the peer-reviewed journals. So if all of a sudden the electricity went out and you couldn't watch the rest of this video or YouTube went offline, this is enough where you go into the peer-reviewed journals where you can find things that are on your topic. Unfortunately, there's 4,000 to go through, but here we have like people diagnosing it with the DSM, Diagnostic Statistical Manual. There's different interventions like Medicaid pays for something. There's studies about gender. So you have the luxury of, if you wanted to, I'm looking at the other monitor, criminal justice system. So you might want to add, you could add another line and add, well, what are you interested in? Are you interested in an intervention, observation, intervention, or maybe like a specific intervention would be cognitive behavioral therapy, or I guess there might be something that might help somebody get off of addiction or counseling. So what you do from here, every time you add that and, we're narrowing it down to what you're interested in. Let's see what happens. Hey, we narrowed it down 25%. So every time you add another keyword line, and you can just add a new line. Let's see if there's, if we go too far. So if you're looking for something local, so the best thing about research is it's reproducible, so you don't have to be in Utah or Salt Lake City. But if you wanted to find something ultra specific to this region, I bet we're going to get nothing or very few. Yeah, only 15, only 4. So if you put in too many keyword strings, you might have to take that out. You can also do population. You can also do federal or local level, rural or urban. There's all sorts of different ways that you can flesh this out. What is something that we can look at? Have you used AI before? There's a whole bunch of different AI tools out there, and all of them are kind of free right now. But what they do is you can ask them for keywords. So we're not asking it to write anything, but I'm going to say, what are keywords related to prisons and jails? So instead of having to come up with everything, ooh, I didn't think of correctional or detention or incarceration. I thought of penitentiary, Correctional Institute, House of Corrections. What is this, the 19th century? So here we have the names of the population: inmate, offender, prisoner, convict, detainee. So you could make, you could change it from the institution to the population and just put those in, offender, probationer. Actions, I don't know if that's it. Conditions. Oh yeah, you could tie it to all these issues going on. So this is where you get the ideas. You don't have to come up with stuff like that yourself. You can also look at the articles and see what are they talking about. Well, here's the word offenders. Oh, cool, screening for ADHD. I've got that. Delinquency, so there's the age of the prisoner. Is it somebody who's really young? All of these different things work together. Okay, here's how you get the article. If you found one, let me go back to my search. If you found one, and you're like, oh, okay, acceptance and commitment therapy versus cognitive behavioral therapy, if I'm just like, this is a great article. You click on the red title, and there's a couple things, so you can get the PDF or full text available. Sometimes there'll be a link right down here. Click like mad, and if you run stuck and you can't get full text, just send me an email. There's a citation generator. So this will give you a reasonably good APA citation. They're not always correct, though. This should be like lowercase. Oh, no, it shouldn't be. Yeah, T lowercase, S, U lowercase. But if you see this full text available, so this one's obvious. I thought I already logged in. Yay, there's my article. And don't forget this first bit, the objectives, and the method, the results, conclusion. This is pretty good to tell if it's a good enough article to use. And some of these people are terrible writers. So if you can't find something, just skip to something else. You can also, if you click on this full text available, it'll show you databases that this is available in. There's EBSCO, Academic Search, something, something. And there's the same full text. Okay. Part 2, let me show you the databases. I apologize if this is overwhelming. Take a break if you want to right now and come back to the video. So we have all these keywords. I'm going to send you all these keywords, by the way, so you don't have to worry about finding those. Databases. Excuse me. In databases, you can go in by subject, like I said. So if you're interested in coming in from the angle of psychology, which is a lot of the interventions come in by psychology, there's social work, sociology. There's all sorts of different places to go. And if you go to, well, I'll go to psychology. If you go to a list of databases, these are all databases that you could use related to psychology. The librarians typically put their favorite at the top. So you don't have to know these databases, but if you go into PsycInfo, your professor's probably recommended this one. You can go to advanced search in all of these, and you can copy and paste all of your keywords and do that same search. And this time, it's not looking through everything in general. It's only in the discipline of psychology. Oh, there's like a date slider, so you can come up from like the dark ages of research when I was born. So we can come up to post-pandemic. The world has changed dramatically since '72 in regards to incarceration practices and things like that. Academic journals. So here's where you can get those things. Oh, methadone, I forgot about that one. So if you get to something here, this also has a citation generator. So you can see APA. There's also this View It button, so if you can't get full text, it'll go back to that library catalog, and it'll say full text available, and it'll give you a list of databases. Again, if you can't find something and it's gold, just email me the citation, and I'll track it down for you. Let's look at another database, but this time, I want to show you my favorite databases. So all of these databases, your professors might have ones that they recommend in the syllabus, but you can also have a curated list. So all of these are database links that you have to be logged in to access them. But if you go to research guides, I can show you my list. So let's go to social work. And here I have a guide. I'll send you this URL. There's my cheeky mug. And I would say go to PhD and Master's Help, because that's the most recent one. Don't be intimidated by the research and master's bit. There's all sorts of stuff going on. But over on the left-hand side, which is over there, validating keywords and concepts, we just did that. So is there a lot on House of Corrections? Maybe not. Maybe we'd have to look at penitentiary or private prison or something, a more updated term. This is where we'd figure out those. Library catalog. Here's some other places where you can look too. Discipline-specific research. We just did PsycInfo. These are my favorite databases for what you're looking at. Sociological Abstracts is awesome because it looks at societies trying to deal with issues that typically might be government funded. So what do we do about incarcerated populations and drug use? That would be that. PsycInfo comes from like the individual perspective of like, is there like a drug intervention or is there a counseling intervention? This is public policy. This is nursing. You could try all of these. Ironically, the social work abstracts is a terrible database. So I would recommend, if you get frustrated with that one, it's mostly about the practice of social work. Okay, so let me show you sociological abstracts. And then I will cut you loose. What is my role? Oh, by the way, none of these have a record of saving anything. So if you don't save your keywords, these databases typically don't, because we have a strict privacy policy. Or House of Corrections. Sounds like a band. Let's look at this one. In the next line. And on this one, let's say I want peer-reviewed articles, and I only want it from the last 3 years. Oh, and here's another cool thing. Let me show you. Well, you could narrow down to just the abstract. So if you're getting a bunch of junk, do you remember that paragraph we looked at for each scholarly article? You could say, only search the text of this abstract. So ostensibly, what you'll get is just the best stuff. So there's medications, juvenile justice, mental health and substance abuse. Ooh, jail population. If you find one that's good, like if you look at this one and you're like, oh, this one's great, email it to yourself. There's ways where you can email and save the article, download the PDF. This one has a citation generator too. But when you send yourself the article, grab a quote from here and write down in your notes software, or if you're using a pad and paper, which I do too, write down why you downloaded it. So you have that, that reference, because there's so many millions of articles. But here we can see the keywords that they did. And these might not be related to the populations that you were looking at. So it might be that you have to look up other things, or you might be just like, this supports my claim, but not everything. Oh, and you can see what they reference too. It's just a hot mess of things. Okay, so here's my last advice to you. And let this be a starter video so we can talk back and forth. The life story of a female heroin dealer in post-Soviet Georgia. Let's look for something that's closer to home. Ontario, Guyana. Here we go. This one looks pretty good. When you find an article, think about it as a single point that, so you've got like this bridge that you're building. And this is a single point of reference that is evidence-based, it's peer-reviewed, it's scholarly. So you're making a point, and all along the bridge you've got these little points that support what you want to say in your overall theme. So imagine giving a speech, and these are just little evidence nuggets that you would cite. So you're never going to find an article that says everything that you want to say. It's going to be a little bit that talks about what it's like to be incarcerated, a little bit about what it's like to maybe have the construction of gender, a little bit about the state of drug or substance abuse in prisons these days, the state of all these different things, and you're making the point with all of your rhetoric over the top of that bridge. Okay, let me know how it goes. Hopefully this helps. I will talk to you as soon as I possibly can.